going on, guys? Jove here. Today I have a tutorial for my Torment 6 Explosive Blast Magic Missile Wizard, and at the end of this video, after the tutorial, there will be a 9-minute Torment 6 Rift Clear. So jumping right into things, I'm going to talk about gear first. As far as gear goes, I like to use the 3-piece Guild set. I don't use Ring of Royal Grandeur, and I'll talk about that a little later. Jumping right into what I feel like is the best rolls for the gear. The helm obviously rolls all resist as a base stat. I like to get the VIT on the helm, being that helms can roll up to 750 VIT. Crit chance, depending upon how much crit you have with the rest of the gear. As always, I like to stay around 50% crit chance of 500% crit damage. So right now, this roll could definitely be a little bit better. The duration, the movement effect duration could be a secondary. That's the role you want to look out for. But outside of that, this is pretty much a good template for the Guild's helm. Moving the shoulders. These are about as good as shoulders as you can get. I like to get the explosive damage on the shoulders, and cooldown reduction is the #1 DPS stat for Explosive Blast Wizards, outside of obviously fire damage, crit chance, crit damage. Int VIT rolls pretty good. So all around, these are a really good pair of shoulders. If you could pick up a pair like this, awesome pair. Definitely suggest doing so. Chest. With chest, there's a few different affix you can go for. You can go for the armor roll, or the reduced damage from elites. If you want to take an offensive approach, you can also go with explosive blast damage on the chest. Now, personally, I don't really need the explosive blast damage on the chest. I find like my damage is perfectly good as is. I chose to stick with the VIT. Now, if you have VIT on your mage fists, you can also go with the explosive damage chest and do explosive damage and then reduce damage from elites. The reduced damage from elites is very good. I have actually a few different rolled chests, and I feel like this is the best one for reducing damage taken. Moving forward, pretty standard neck, fire damage, crit chance, crit damage. And now obviously for secondaries, resist would be nice, but can't really complain. The glow bonus and then the pickup radius is decent all around. Now bracers, I use strong arm bracers, and I do that because I like to use the black hole, and the black hole is affected by strong arms legendary proc. So if you don't like to use black hole, you have the option of also using all guild bracers and then switching a different piece for, a piece of your liking if you want to use Indariel's helm. This is just the way that I like to go. These are pretty crappy rolled, haven't been able to find another one. Obviously could use a resist as a secondary and better fire damage and crit chance. I didn't bother rolling the fire damage 20 because the crit chance is only 5.5. Then we have Mage Fist. Obviously these are perfect outside the intelligence. A secondary of resist, as always, would be nice. If I had my perfect pair, they would either be int VIT, crit chance, crit damage, or int cooldown reduction, crit chance, and crit damage. Attack speed's really nice when you use magic missiles, but it's not 100% mandatory, so it's definitely a mod that I'd like to roll off in favor for the crit damage. These I don't believe, I think these rolled like all resist as the other primary, so I didn't have the option of rolling off the attack speed. As far as belt goes, for Torment 6, I feel like String of Years is almost mandatory, at least for this build. It's a great, with the 28% reduced damage for melee attacks, it's great as a secondary. It also rolls all resist, VIT, and armor. Base armor is very important for a explosive blast wizard because you are in melee range all the time, so definitely my suggestion as what to use for belt. Moving forward, I have the 2-piece Captain Chrism, the pants and the boots. Starting with the pants, we have int VIT armor and a resist secondary, and these are about as perfect as you're going to get. Obviously, the higher the int VIT, the better. Armor is really good on pants because armor on pants is one of the few slots that it can roll up to 595. So if you're going to use a primary affix, you want to use it on the slots that it can roll the highest on. And as I said, I think it's pants, chest, and maybe helm it rolls the highest on. Moving forward, we have the Captain Chrism waders, and now for the boots, int VIT all resist is pretty much mandatory. As far as the 4th primary, you can go with armor or life regen. I don't really think percent damage is necessary on all the pieces. Like I said, if you'll see the rift clear at the end of this. My damage is pretty good the way it is. So these pairs, I chose armor over life regen because I feel pretty confident in my ability to stay alive in Torment 6, and the armor helped a little bit to get up to the 10,000 mark, which is ideal. Wand of Woe, obviously if you're going for an explosive blast build, you want to use Wand of Woe. The damage roll kind of crappy here, but both the int and the reduced cooldown rolled base and the int rolled high, and the cooldown reduction is perfect. And as I said, cooldown reduction is very important. You want to be hitting about 50 to 55% optimally. If you watch my explosive blast here, you'll notice that has a 100% uptime. As long as I'm spamming, it is constantly hitting enemies. So that's it's very good to have on the wand. It takes it out of the equation is getting it on another piece. First ring, Stone of Jordan, speaks for itself. Best ring in the game for damage. Now I do use double unity. I've seen some wizards use different builds to switch the unity off and still be able to survive in Torment 6. I just like this build. This was the build that I went for right from jump. It's worked fine. Can switch the build around. I know some people have experimented with an Archon explosive blast build, which I made down the line, but right now my gear is pretty much as perfect as I'm going to get for this current gear set that I have. So I'm not stressed out too much. If they fix Unity, I'll worry about it. I don't think they're going to fix it, though. I don't necessarily think it's broken. If it was broken and they wanted to fix it, pretty sure it would have been done by now. So I rolled crit damage on it. I already have enough crit chance, so and obviously it rolls base, attack speed's useless, crit damage is the way to go. As far as my source goes, using the 2 missile magic, or the 2 missile mirror ball. If you don't have a mirror ball, I don't suggest running magic missile. Magic missile is very good for single target as far as Rift Guardians go when you have to kite. This roll, crit chance and cooldown reduction is base. It rolled perfect. I chose to go with the magic missile damage over explosive blast damage, and I did that because if you look here, it's over 6.5 million a roll. I think I invested about let's say 400 million getting it to this. I was going for explosive blast, but I also, magic missile is perfectly fine. I wouldn't go crazy worrying about the two. Either one's going to work because I find myself using magic missile quite often. So let's talk about follower gear. Ideally, you want to have attack speed on everything. Now this gear isn't really tweaked because I just found my Essa Johan recently. Azerat's really good because of the freeze, attack speed base. Essa Johan is going to be the best neck you can get for an explosive blast wizard. It's like having a Cyclone Strike monk with you at all times. The proc chance on this is really good. It makes explosive blasts a lot easier. You don't have to worry too much about grouping everything together. Procs fairly often. Now I will be re-rolling this to have attack speed base. As far as shield goes, Lidless Wall is the shield that you want to use. I hadn't had one. I salvaged all the ones I have. I do have one on a mule right now. I just haven't had the chance to transfer it over here. But it's the only shield in the game that rolls attack speed. Rings, obviously, Unity, which I will be re-rolling the life per hit to attack speed, or any one of the mods, doesn't really matter. And then just this is another ring that prior to having the Essa Johan, I was just going for damage rather than attack speed. Let's talk about Paragon points next. It's pretty staple. Pretty much just how it goes all around. It's pretty obvious, but I'll just go over it really quickly. Movement speed cap, rest into int. Offense, we have cooldown reduction, like I said, one of the most important stats, crit damage, and then attack speed. My crit chance without points in here is already 50%. I think it's 50.5%. So eventually I think I will be dropping off crit chance from some of the gear and moving points from attack speed into crit. Like the helm, I thought about going all resist because my all resist is slightly low for what I like for Torment 6, but as of right now this works really well. For single target, this attack speed is very beneficial. Defensive stats. Armor, resist all, and life regen. Life regen is very powerful for a wizard. Most people don't use it, they don't utilize it, but for a explosive blast wizard, it's very nice. It helps keeping alive. It helps staying alive, very much so. Armor, because you are in melee range at almost all times, so it's very important to get the 10,000 armor. And resist all is pretty standard. Life percent, I don't have any points in it because I'm right shy of 300,000, and I think this life is perfectly fine. I mean, you'll see later in the Torment 6 Rift Clear that I do die once, but it was due to my own stupidity. I got a little bit cocky, but anyways, I think 300 to 350,000 is perfectly fine. So I find life regen more beneficial than the life percent. As far as the utility points, area damage, life on hit for the magic missile, and gold find. Resource cost reduction is pretty useless. You don't use any resource cost reduction with this build. So, I mean, it's not even necessary. Moving into skills, we have magic missile conflagrate. Pretty standard, you'd imagine. with using the mirror ball. Conflagrate does a lot of single target damage, definitely the best way to go. Black Hole Event Horizon. Your choice of Black Hole runes is, pretty much open. I like Event Horizon because it does help with those nasty elite affixes. If you have well-placed ones, it's really well for staying alive. Teleport safe patches. Now, with all my cooldown reduction, my teleport safe patch is pretty much up at all times. The 25% less damage, it's awesome. I had a little bit of difficulty staying alive using Wormhole at first. Now with safe patches, I very rarely die in Torment 6. Explosive Blast, Chain Reaction, obviously when you're using Wand of Woe. I've tried other runes. I think that's definitely the way to go. Energy Armor, Prismatic. Once again, you need armor and resist. Torment 6, definitely the way to go. In this video, it's focused only on Torment 6. If you are running lower Torments, by all means, go with more offensive skills. But for Torment 6, I feel like you definitely need a big balance between offensive and defensive, more so on the defensive side. Now, Magic Weapon Deflection. The reason I use Deflection and I don't use the passive that gives the shield is this is you almost always have tons of shields, especially on single target when it's really necessary. I found my toughness and ability to stay alive went way up once I started using Deflection rather than using the passive for the shield. So, if you're having difficulty stay alive, just go ahead and throw Deflection on. I think everything will be a lot easier for you. Passives, we have Blur. Pretty standard, 17% less damage. Evocation, cooldown reduction obviously. Elemental Exposure. Now the reason I'm using this is because my Wand of Woe is poison, so with the Wand of Woe, with the Black Hole's Arcane, and then Explosive Blast, it's about 15% damage on all targets. Good for offensive, obviously. Audacity, you're always within 15 yards with Explosive Blast. Pretty standard. So, if you like this build, if you like the Rift Clear that is going to be playing after this, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box. Like I said, this particular gear set, I didn't talk about alternatives for the reason that if you're going to use this gear set and build it the way I am, there's really not many alternatives. I have experimented a little bit. If you'd like me to do another video, if you have questions talking about which different pieces you can swap in and out of slots, I have no problem doing that. I like my Wizard. It's a lot of fun. You can see with all this inventory stuff, I haven't played it too much recently because I've been focusing on other characters and I haven't had much time to play. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, I appreciate all the likes and the feedback. Stick around for the Rift Clear if you want to see the Wizard in action. I think you'll really enjoy it and see how powerful the build can be. And like I said, once again, if you have any questions about alternative gear, feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Or if a lot of people are wanting to see alternative builds, I'll just do a whole nother video. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Need more time. Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready yet. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting. waiting. You dare attack me? Need more time. Not ready yet. Need more time. Still waiting. Not ready yet. Still waiting. I am unstoppable. Not ready yet. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Help me! Need more time. Not ready yet. I'm badly wounded. I've been healed. Still waiting. I am so good. I astound myself. Need more time. Still waiting. I am unstoppable. Not ready yet. Need more time. Still waiting. I'm injured. Not ready yet. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Need more time. If only they could see me now. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready yet. waiting. Your defenses are nothing. Need more time. Still waiting. Need more time. That coming. Hit you. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting.